Alright, Mehrdad, can you give me a little bit of background on yourself and why the online dating realm intrigued you to the point of starting CupidRadar.com?
Sure, I'm the founder and president of CupidRadar.com, which is a very innovative geolocation-based, location-based dating site. And I have an engineering background and a business background, and I've always been interested in merging these concepts of love, technology, and business together. And that's really kind of where I came up with the concept of CupidRadar.
And what about the dating industry altogether before you started it? What was missing?
Yeah, well, I think what was missing was the fact that we had a lot of technology infused into the dating realm, but technology had actually come to separate people. And I always thought that if you were going to date somebody successfully, you should be connected to them closer. And so we had a lot of technology that had come between people and enabled communication, but I think that even though there was more frequency and a higher quantity of communication, I think the quality of communication wasn't as great. And so I wanted to take care of that gap.
Why would you say geolocation-based not only dating but technology is such an important niche to be in, both with the dating industry but technology in general?
Yeah, that's a great question. What you have right now going on is a confluence of multiple different factors, which is we live in a world where everybody wants things to be customized for their needs and their desires and their wishes. We also have the advent of GPS technology and location-based technology, and we have smartphones, which is a very growing segment. Right now only 20% of the population have smartphones, but that number is projected to increase exponentially over the next few years. So when you put all those things together, you end up with a society that says, hey, you know what, I don't want to have to drive to such and such place to find something that I know is there. I want the things that I want to come to me, and I want it to be around where I am right now. It's inconvenient for me to drive, or it's time consuming. So from that standpoint, people want to know where's the nearest taco place that's giving me a 20% discount near me right now, not 20 miles from here. Or in the case of dating, who's around me right now that I might be compatible with? And I'm comfortable at the airport or at the coffee shop or bookstore or wherever I am right now. And I'm just curious to know is there somebody around me that I'd want to meet. So I think it's those factors coming together that's making it such an important place to be.
So what would you say the perception currently is on online dating and how that's changed over, say, the past year or so?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. If you think about when online dating first showed up in the early 90s, the perception was that it's only for desperate people or needy people, or it's dangerous or it's unsafe. And now you look at it, by some statistics, up to 50 million people, singles in this country, have actually used online dating or are currently on it. So I think the perceptions over time have really, really changed from it being something that's an outlier to something that's quite common and socially acceptable. And I think what's really, really pushed that along are social norms and the advent of technology into the younger generation that are coming up with technology. And that technology enables people to be connected. And so people want to be connected. People want to be able to talk to people. People post things on things like Facebook and Foursquare, and they check in places and they let their friends and their family know. So when you look at all of these factors, these social factors that are changing, it's also affected the way that people look at online dating. And even though some of them might still not be willing to admit to it, a lot of people are using, a lot of people are online, and frankly a lot of people are having success on these sites. It's become much more normalized and common, I think.
So even with online dating gaining popularity, there's still a lot of people who are apprehensive to join simply because of the security and the safety aspects having to do with it. How does CupidRadar.com address those issues?
Well, there are two things that I say about that. One is that you kind of have to have some perspective on the whole idea of safety and security, and that is that, when you go out of your house, you go to a grocery store, you go to a gym, you go to a nightclub, you're incurring some risk. And the people that you meet and possibly exchange phone numbers with or provide your email to, you don't really know these people. And yet these are risks that we've been taking since the beginning of, sort of modern society. And those risks haven't changed with online dating, just that the medium has changed. So that's the first thing I remind people, is that it's not as though you're going from a perfectly safe environment into an inherently unsafe one. It really is, you're already incurring risks. And so the mode has just changed. So that's the first answer. And the second part of the answer is that in spite of that, we do take safety and security and privacy very, very seriously. Obviously, we have to create an environment that is conducive to our users having a great experience, having a safe experience, and respecting their privacy. And so we take a lot of steps with our algorithms. The first thing that we do is we check every single profile personally and individually. We make sure that the profiles have appropriate pictures, have appropriate content, and if there's anything questionable, we have no problems rejecting somebody's profile and just simply banning them from the site. It's not an issue. The second thing is that when people sign up, we have particular algorithms that check for things to ensure that what you're telling us is actually what you really are in terms of where you're logging in from, who you are. We don't allow people to play games. We don't allow people to change their age or their gender. These are things that are fixed, because a lot of sites actually allow you to change it, and we don't do that. And what we find is that a lot of people like that, and the few who don't are probably not the kind of users that we want to have on our site anyway. And lastly, we take any sort of complaints or feedback that we get from our users very, very seriously. And you have the ability to go invisible on our site or to block somebody permanently. And if you say not interested in this person, they're gone, the email trail's gone, the history's gone, they can never contact you or see you again. And we actually find that CupidRadar is a safer way, if you will, to meet people, because you can have your CupidRadar communication emails going back and forth through CupidRadar without having to ever exchange phone numbers or emails. You can set up a date, meet somebody, and really be able to protect your privacy that way.
Say I'm on CupidRadar and I want to find a potential match, and or I just want to sit there and have potential matches find me. How does that happen? How do I go about doing that?
Okay, great. There are actually two different mechanisms that we have. I call that active and passive searching. So the active searching, you actually log on, you've set up your profile, you have your search criteria in place, and you just tell the site to find your matches for you. And it returns matches based on proximity, who's near you, and your search criteria. So that's active searching. You got to log in, press a button, get the results, which is very, very fast and easy. But we also have a passing search, because I believe that you can't log in 24 hours a day or 12 hours a day. And maybe that cute guy that you're interested in is actually a couple miles away right now, but if you didn't happen to log in and search for him, he's gone. So we have a thing called Cupid Concierge, which is passive matching, which is you tell us one time when you sign up, and you can always change it, how many emails a day you want to receive, and what radius do you want us to match you and search for you on. And based on the radius that you pick, we will automatically be searching in the background when you're logged off, you're not even on the site. And if anybody enters that radius that you pre-selected that matches your search criteria, we will email you, and we will email that other person, hey, we found somebody that you might be interested in. There's a link to the profile, you click, it immediately takes you there. And within a few seconds, you can be messaging that person, and within a couple hours, maybe even minutes, you guys can be getting together for a cup of coffee or whatever you're interested in.